Today we're having a chat to Richard Doley. Richard Doley works he works for the Eastern Province Cricket Board, and he's very much involved in youth cricket and youth programs. But Richard's had to talk about, not specifically himself, but actually talk about Gelvandale Cricket Club. Now, I met Richard back in, it was 2015 we decided, Richard?
That's correct, yeah.
And it was during the Coca-Cola Kaimajula week, and I was so lucky that Richard actually brought us through to the Gelvandale Cricket Club. In bringing me through to the Gelvandale Cricket Club, he showed me what they do in the community here. He showed me, he's told me stories about how far back this cricket club comes, how far back it actually goes, and how many amazing players and amazing things have actually happened here. So it's not up to me to tell the story, I'll let Richard tell the story. So welcome, Richard, and can you tell us a bit of the history of this Gelvandale Cricket Club?
Yeah, Shawn, thank you very much for having me and speak about Gelvandale Cricket Club. As you would know, the club has recently celebrated our 40th anniversary. The club was established in 1977, and it basically operated initially as a school team, and various school teachers and some of the ex-players actually were instrumental in organizing the club, because if you look at the dates, 1977, and then we had the 1976 Soweto uprising. So from a cricket perspective, many of the clubs that belong to the Eastern Province Cricket Association, they were hoodwinked into thinking that by going over to play normal sport, they would get a better opportunity and better facilities and things like that, and that was under the South African Cricket Union. I think Richard Verrachia and Jeff Dakin, they were heading up this entire transition period, where the players from this particular area went over to play on the white side. And Gelvandale Cricket Club was established in order to revitalize and rekindle cricket on the side of in Port Elizabeth. The club went from strength to strength. We had fantastic administrators who really had the community's well-being at heart, especially the youth. And the club is situated in an area called Gelvandale, a very sort of impoverished area, but many good people that came from the area, fantastic sportsmen that actually started and played the cricket at Gelvandale. And if one thinks about the names that come to mind that actually went on to represent South Africa after unification, we have, from a coaching perspective, we have Russell Domingo. He comes from this particular club. In fact, we played together just towards the end of my cricket playing career. And then on the other side, current administrator, Cricket South Africa, Maxwell Jordan. He's also one of our members, and he's still a member of the club and always comes down whenever we celebrate, So the umbilical cord has not been cut yet. And if we talk at players, actually, we think of Ashwell Prince, and if you go through the club, you'll see various pin-ups of Ashwell when he was still playing in our junior setup, and then of course right through the ranks to first team Premier League level. We have guys like Alviro Peterson, also started his cricket over here at the club. Robin Peterson played for the club at one stage. We had Garnet Kruger, he's still a member of this club as well. And we have a host of other players, people that come to mind. Bashir Waters, currently playing for the Warriors, and various others that have played. Lyle Mayer is one that comes to mind. Nigel Browers, so all these players have started their cricket over here, and that is what really makes us proud as a club, and that motivates us as players that that have been with the club for such a long time. We also had a Morris Wilson, one of our veterans and also legends of the game. It was a member of this club. In fact, many people say that if it wasn't for the apartheid system, he would probably have gone on to play international cricket for South Africa. In fact, he was international cricket referee with the ICC for a while. Another guy named of Desmond Bravo Jacobs, he's close to 70. He actually still plays in our third team. So that is the type of commitment that Gelvandale Cricket Club actually is for the community. The club at the moment, we have 3 senior teams. It is your premier team, the reserves, the thirds, and then of course we have our seconds. And then we have our under 17s, our under 15s, and under 13s that play in the junior leagues. And then we also run a very successful academy which is caters for the 6-year-olds up to 12 years old. And that of course is a breeding ground for the club, because there's no way that we will be attracting seniors at this stage. We have to build and actually utilize the different schools in the area, and that has been our focus, to make the club a community-based club, where the parents of these 6, 7, 8-year-olds, when they come over here, we engage with them. They become part of the Gelvandale family, and we have fantastic social interaction with them, braais with the children, and of course at our Premier League games, so it's always a hub at Gelvandale. We're also very fortunate, and thanks to Eastern Province Cricket and initiative from Cricket South Africa, that we are a designated hub, which forms part of the cricket pipeline, from identifying talent and then and walking step by step with these players, where it's a fantastic initiative. It basically gives them, that self-worth. These youngsters, they get the cricket kit, they look like cricketers, the equipment is there, and they can aspire to their current Protea heroes and things like that. And the coaches that we have at our club over here, they do a fantastic job. They always at the club. They go out to the schools that we've adopted in the area. We have currently 4 or 5 primary schools in the area that our coaches go out and actually do actual cricket coaching over there. And then in the afternoons they will then bring those kids down to our facility, where we have turf nets and everything that you require for them to prosper. So I think all in all, Gelvandale Cricket Club is a beacon of hope for many of the youth in the area. As we said, things have changed in Gelvandale. The youth, their focus has shifted. It's no longer sports driven. There are so many other social ills that is more attractive, and that is what we are saddled with. We have to try and get them away from that and make something meaningful, something that they can come to and something that they can actually call the second home.
Yeah, because I was actually talking to Robin Peterson earlier on today. Actually messaging him on WhatsApp, and he was talking about how he used to come here and spend his entire day here, and he played tennis and bowls and cricket and whatever he could do, hockey, he would just play and just to have absolute fun with. And I think that's what you're talking about here. That's actually it used to be something of the past, and it still happens, but you're battling to attract the kids to do that.
That's exactly what this particular facility is about. Obviously, if you just go to the back of the clubhouse, they are busy playing hockey, on the Casey March AstroTurf. To the left, there's tennis being played over there. There's bowls over there, so you'd find there's a lot of integration between the hockey and the cricket. In the winter, some of our members are playing hockey, and likewise in the summer the hockey players will be playing cricket. So you have this continuity that is taking place within this community. And just as you're speaking, what comes to mind is an international player that had a very big influence on people like Ashwell and Vero and Robinham was Aldin Baptiste. Aldin Baptiste, I think in the early 2000s, I think, he came down, and he as a professionally played for Eastern Province, and he was actually our professional.
So when I came here the last time in 2015, I saw Ashwell Prince was here, and he was talking to a lot of the kids, talking to a lot of the other club members, and he was continuously giving back to the club that actually gave him so much. It doesn't often happen that, so it must be very important to have people like him. And I think Garner Kruger, you said, comes here quite often and talks to the guys.
Yeah, so from a playing perspective, even those guys are no longer playing, but whenever they are in Port Elizabeth, they will always come to the club. They will always interact with the players. We have in December we have what we call one of our the club captain we used to have a few years ago died tragically. I think he wasn't even in his 30s yet. He just made it into EP, died in a car accident. And we have a cricket game where we invite all our ex-players, and sometimes Garnet would be whoever's in the air, they would come and play, and we have mixed the sides up with the current first team players, and that is how we involve these players. But when you speak about role models and things like that, I think it's not only parents. There have been other stalwarts from Port Elizabeth, people that come to mind, like Kaya Majola. Now, as you said, in 2015, the Kaya Majola Cricket Week was held in Port Elizabeth, and I was fortunate to be the chairperson of the local organizing committee. And I thought, having played with Kaya, during the Sakos days, and one of his wishes was always to see cricket transform and people given opportunity purely based on merit. And what I thought, the only thing that I could do is I could do a photo tribute to him, and I put together a little booklet and got photos from all the years, where he was involved, photos with Ali Bacher, Brian Lara, Graham Pollock. They were all people he interacted with in those years, and that particular booklet was distributed to across the country, and something I think a lot of people that played with Kaya would remember and bring back fond memories, and that is a type of role models that is lacking nowadays. Even Arun Logat, comes from this particular area. Kaya's brother Gerald Majola, they've all played against us. We would play against them in the townships, and that was how we used to build, the camaraderie amongst us. And unfortunately, that bond is no longer as strong as it was back in the 70s and the 80s. That we had to play in the townships. They had to come and play over here, because obviously we did not play the other side of Port Elizabeth. So everything used to happen here. This is where friends used to meet, good banter after the games. Once again, something that is lacking in cricket nowadays. The guys get in their cars and after the game they're gone. Nowadays, the wives used to phone the clubhouse to find out if the husband is still there at 12 o'clock in the night, So, cricket has afforded us a lot of good memories, and if you were fortunate to play, provincially, you have that context around the country, and even up to today, the guys are glad to see each other, so. Once again, Gelvandale Cricket Club will continue to be our home, away from home to many of the guys that used to play over here. And I think together with our sponsor, BLG, and also I can't forget Lotto South Africa, we are very fortunate that we have been recipients, and I think what you see over here at the club, our players and things like that, our clubs have definitely put that to good use, and that's why they will continue, to invest in the club, because they can see there's a return on their investment. And like I said, the club will continue to host, interprovincial tournaments, which has been happening over the past couple of years. The facilities is in good nick, and as I said, we're hoping Gelvandale can go from strength to strength.